Hey guys, it's Liz here with another video for you, and today we're going to be talking about a common problem in the nail community, which is lifting. I have dealt with lifting a lot. I have oily nail beds, so I think it might be something that I just always have to deal with. But I have found with a lot of research that there are things that you can do to prevent it, and I am dealing with a lot less lifting than when I first started my nail journey. So I wanted to share with you what I have found and what works for me, and hopefully that you can kind of use this video as a troubleshooting video to try and figure out where you are having problems or what you can maybe do to fix your own lifting problems. Now in the description, I will list where you can find each part of this video. That will make it a little bit easier for you to find what you need if you have to come back to it. I use these videos as a resource for you, so I want to make it easier for you to find what you need. So let's go ahead and get into it. We're going to start from the beginning and move all the way to the end of the process, step by step, trying to figure out where you might be going wrong. Now, I do want to say, when I say nail enhancements, that is anything from regular polish to gel polish, dip powder or acrylic powder. It doesn't matter what you're using. If you kind of follow these steps, then you can have less lifting. So of course, with regular polish, they don't call it lifting, you call it peeling or chipping, but it's the same thing. Again, if you follow these steps, hopefully you will have less problems with that. So the first thing that you want to do is just make sure that you can take this time for yourself and don't touch anything. So once you start the process of putting these nail enhancements onto your nails, you don't want to touch anything else that might have oils on it. Nail enhancements don't like sticking to oils. They need a clean, dry surface to adhere properly to. So when I start, I want to make sure that my area is wiped down really well. Anything that I might be touching during this process is wiped down. You might have to touch your phone. Just take a little alcohol, put it on a paper towel, wipe your phone down. I know if you have an iPhone, this is perfectly okay, but you might want to, if you have a different brand of phone, it's not brand, what is it? That carrier, that manufacturer. You might want to check with the manufacturer of your phone to make sure that that is okay with them. But in light of the whole COVID, I know the iPhone did put out that it is perfectly fine to wipe down your phone with alcohol. So you can disinfect it with the alcohol, also clean off all of the oils. So I also make sure to pull my hair back. Your hair has lots of natural oils. So you want to make sure that you pull it back, get it out of the way so you're not tempted to touch it during this process. And you need to make sure that you have time set aside so that you don't get interrupted. Once you start the process of putting the enhancement onto your nails, you don't want to be interrupted during that time, because then you have a higher chance of getting something on your nails in between that process. Especially during the first part of it, when you're just getting it on, you want to make sure that you are not touching anything or getting distracted. So I'm a busy mom. I've got kids. I know I don't have 3 to 4 hours to do my nails from start to finish. So I kind of break it up into steps. So my first one is removal. So I remove everything on my nails, and I do have a video that shows you my removal process, the soak off process that I use. And I know I need to set aside about 20 to 30 minutes for that. Then the next step is cuticle removal. I know that I need about another 20 to 30 minutes for that. So I'm always kind of like sectioning it, breaking it down into sections, finding time to do this step, then finding time to do that step. I actually build my apex with clear, but I do that underneath my color. So I will break it down into building my apex with clear and then doing the color. So each one of those steps, I know that I can set aside enough time to do each step. So if you break it up into those steps, you should be able to find those little sections of time throughout the day, or maybe at the end of each day. Sometimes I do that. Do one thing the night before, do one thing in the morning, another thing at night, another thing in the morning. You know, you just have to do what you got to do when you're a parent. But you should be able to hopefully find those pockets of time to be able to do your nails. Number 2 is cuticle removal. You want to make sure that your cuticle is completely removed from your nail bed. Now the cuticle is not this skin that is right above your nail. It's actually a layer of dead skin that adheres to your nail as it's growing out. That cuticle can be invisible, so you want to make sure that you remove it and remove it completely. I do have a video, like I mentioned before, of this removal process, and that goes into a little bit more detail about what a cuticle actually is. So if you have any questions about that, make sure that you check out that video at the end of this video. Number 3 is alcohol, to get all of the natural oils off of your hands. And like I mentioned before, if you are possibly touching anything during this process, you want to make sure that you wipe it down with alcohol. That alcohol will get all of the natural oils off of your hands or anything else that you might be touching. Again, this is very important because your nail enhancement does not like to stick to those oils. It needs a clean, dry surface to adhere properly. Like I mentioned before, I like to put the alcohol onto a paper towel and just wipe it all over my hands, like you see me doing here. Number 4 is don't use water. I don't use water before nail enhancements because water will soak into your nails and it will expand your nail and flatten it. So Anna over at Nail Care Headquarters has some great articles about this and what your nail looks like before and after water soaks into your nails. So if you have time, check that out. You're also trying to dehydrate your nails. So if you wash your hands with water before you start putting on your nail enhancements, that water is soaking into your nails. That water is eventually going to start evaporating out of your nails, and it's going to start pushing on your nail enhancements. So that could create some lifting. So I always use alcohol, not water, before my nail enhancements to clean my hands and take off those natural oils. I also have a little bit of theory. I don't know how true this is, but because your nail, after it soaks up that water, flattens out, once you put that nail enhancement on your nail, if it's on a flat nail, once that water starts dehydrating from it, it's going to start curling back. Especially if you have a very strong C curve, if it's flat, then when it starts going back into that really strong C curve, it's going to start lifting at the ends. So if you have lifting at the ends, that's a possibility. Now that's just a theory. That's something that I kind of thought made sense to me, but I haven't found any research on it exactly. It just is something that I thought made sense. So if you're experiencing some lifting on the ends, that might be a possible reason. I don't know. I'm just, kind of spitballing ideas here. That's what I do. Number 5 is Dehydrator. Now you just used alcohol to take all the natural oils off of your hands, so you may not need an extra dehydrator for your nail beds, but because I have really oily nails and really oily nail beds, this has been a game changer for me. I feel like this has caused me not to have as much lifting just by adding dehydrator to my prep. I use the IBD dehydrator, and I'll link that in the description below for you. But there are many other dehydrators. That's just the one that I use and the one that works for me. Number 6 is base coat. For regular nail polish, of course, you need a good base coat for your polish. Base coat is formulated to adhere to your natural nail. Some of the polishes may not be. So you need to make sure that you start with a good base coat. Now you may have to experiment a little bit to find which one works better for you, but definitely you need to make sure that you start with a base coat. For other enhancements such as dip powder, I always start with a clear dip or a clear acrylic because I feel like, and again, this is just kind of a theory and it's something that I've heard somebody else say and it makes sense, but the clear has not been messed with, the integrity of it has not been messed with by color. So if you add like a color, a mica powder, a glitter, you're messing with that integrity of the clear powder. So to me, it makes sense that if you put clear dip or clear acrylic on your nails to start off with, it's going to adhere to your nail better than something with color in it. Again, that's just a theory, but I've heard it from other people. And since I've been using clear dip first before my colors, again, I have noticed a really big improvement in my nail lifting. So if you're still struggling with lifting, that might be something that you want to try. Also, for you regular nail polish wearers, Anna, again, over at nailcarehq.com, I'll link that in the description. She suggests that you wrap your base coat. Start with 2 coats of your base coat. Wrap it underneath your nail if you have longer nails, 2 coats of color, and your top coat. Again, you can find more details about that. She calls it the 5 wrap. What is it? 5-step wrap? What does she call it? 5? I don't know. But you can find more at nailcarehq.com. Number 7 is your products. You may want to take a closer look at your products if you're experiencing lifting and you have kind of exhausted every other option. All products are not created equal. Some of the cheaper ones have what is called methacrylate. Is that what it's called? Methacrylate. Methacrylate, or more commonly referred to as MMA. Now, MMA does not stick to your nail as well. If you are experiencing lifting and you've been through every other thing, you might want to look at your products. Make sure that you're using a quality product that doesn't have MMA in it. You can kind of test this if your dip powder takes longer to dissolve in acetone. MMA doesn't dissolve very well in acetone. So if you're doing like my soak method for taking off your nails and it's still taking you like an hour to get the product off, you might have MMA. It doesn't dissolve as fast in acetone. You might want to look into getting some better quality products or a different brand. You also want to check that your products are working well together. Some liquids may not work as well with some powders. I know some brands have liquids that are specifically formulated to work with their powders. So if you're not using their brand liquids with their brand powders, you might experience those products not working as well together. This may take some experimenting to see what products will work well together, especially since not all dip powder companies sell liquids to go with their powders. So you might just have to experiment to see what brand liquids work with the company's powders that you are buying from. You can also always ask the owners to see what they use or what they recommend. We're at number 8, guys. Number 8 is contaminated products. Now, if you've been using this product for a while or been using them together for a while, and then all of a sudden you start experiencing some lifting or the product isn't working as well for you, it may be time for some more product, especially the liquids. The liquids will get contaminated so quickly if you're not careful with them. What I do is after each brush on my finger, I will wipe it onto a lint-free cloth before putting that brush back into my bottle. This kind of helps with the contamination, but it's not going to get rid of it completely. Eventually, you may get some contamination of your products and you're just going to have to get some new ones. But it happens. It happens to us all. So don't worry about it. It happens to everybody. Number 9 is if you're using tips and you're getting some lifting, especially on the sides, it may be that your tips are not the right fit for you. This is again something that you just have to experiment with. I have some amazing videos on using different items for tips that form better to your nails, so you don't have to worry so much about that lifting. So you can use tea bags or you can use regular stickers to help build your nails. You can also use those builder forms. Even with dip, you can use those builder forms to build your nail with the dip. So just again, I do have videos for that. All right, number 10, washing your hands a lot. After the process is done, if you wash your hands a lot, this can cause lifting. I've talked about this before. Water is not good for your nails. I mean, it doesn't really make sense. Water should be good for your nails, but it's not. Water will absorb into your fingernails and mess with the shape of it. It flattens it out. And then as it dehydrates, it'll go back into your curved shape. So this constant back and forth of your nails will cause damage. It'll cause your nails to weaken. It'll cause your nails to become more brittle. If you have problems with peeling nails, water may be the cause of it. So you need to be really conscious about how much you're washing your hands. And if you're washing your hands a lot, then you need to be oiling more. And that's number 12. 12 is not oiling enough. You need to be oiling your hands at least 4 to 10 times a day. I oil my nails every time that I can, every time I wash my hands, every time my nails feel dry. I have oil pins everywhere. I have oil pins in my purse. I have them by my bed. I have them by each sink. I have them right here and right here and right here. I have them everywhere. So I try to make sure that anytime that my nails feel dry, after I wash my hands, I oil my nails. And I will take the oil pin and go around the nail enhancement and under my nails. Then I'll kind of rub that little space between your cuticle and your first knuckle. I will just rub that. This also stimulates your matrix, which grows your nails. So stimulating that matrix can help your nails grow a little bit faster. So my nails are really oily. I still have to oil my nails, especially after washing with soap. That soap will strip the natural oils from your hands and nails. So you need to make sure that you are oiling your nails. Number 13, and we're almost done, people. If you've gotten this far and you're getting a lot out of this, please make sure that you hit that like button for me. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you've gotten anything out of this or heard something that new that you didn't know, make sure you leave me a comment and let me know. All right, number 13, using your nails as tools. This is going to cause lifting. Putting any kind of pressure on your nails, picking or grabbing stuff. If you're grabbing stuff like this, you want to kind of like grab more with the pads of your fingers. I sometimes just like to grab on my knuckles. It's kind of weird getting used to it. Or I'll grab stuff with the side right here. But you know, you don't want to grab like this and put pressure on your fingernails like that. Once your nails get longer, I mean, it's just hard to really grab stuff like that. So you just got to find different ways to do it. And if you have longer nails, you just find a different way to do things. You just find a different way to grab things. You don't want to be sticking your fingernail up under stuff like a Coke can to pop that thing up. Of course, that pressure on your nail is going to cause some lifting. Also tapping, consistent tapping on your nails is going to cause some lifting. Eventually, it might be slight over time, but if you have a problem with tapping your nails on things, eventually it's going to cause some lifting. So number 14, and the last thing, is that you just have oily nail beds. Leave a comment below. Let me know if you're an oily nail bed sister of mine. I have really oily nail beds. So I do occasionally get some lifting. But again, I have used these processes. I've really gotten better about the way that I'm grabbing things and the way that I'm using my nails. I try not to use my nails, but just getting out of those habits, those bad habits, getting some good habits, I have noticed so much difference. I actually started doing the peel base and just filling in my nails because I'm getting so little lifting now. I can actually do that. I never thought that I could just fill my nails because I would have so much lifting. I was like, I've got to take them all off or I'm gonna get bacteria or something underneath, or I'm gonna get water trapped underneath. But now, using what I know, I have significantly lessened my lifting. So hopefully you have gotten something out of this video. If you have, please make sure that you give it a like. Leave some comments what you think of this video. Was it helpful at all? Did you learn something new? Do you think that it will help you with your lifting problems? I really hope so. Again, I will leave everything in the description. That way you can easily find where it's at in this video, because I know it got kind of long. I like to talk. I can't help myself. I'm sorry. But hopefully you got something out of this video, and I thank you so much, especially if you have gotten all the way to the end of this video. I thank you so much for watching this, and we will see you next time.